Ivey.com. Mr. Ivey know the show must go on. As far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised dogs, close fish, yeah, too strong. Team AI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real, jumping like hopscotch. Nobody harder than, oh no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlative, keep it locked like the Asian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the tip place, let's be about it. Who got the info about it? Hey yo, Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivey, so superlative like a bag of Grippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati red tag. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 513, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Good morning. My pleasure to be with you as always. Good morning, everybody. Come on in. Nate Ivey in the air chair. Just a couple minutes after 8 a.m. Got a treat for you at the end of the show. We're going to get a chance to talk with some of the first ladies. The First Ladies Health Initiative is coming up next weekend. It will be on Sunday. And I want to make sure that everyone listening understands what's going to be going on. And if you're interested how you might be able to participate, it's going to be the First Ladies Health Fair. They've been doing this for several years now. It's a real serious effort to try to increase, awareness about health issues. And we understand that there are certain neighborhoods in Cincinnati in which people don't have, at least if you look at the numbers, they don't have the same projected life expectancy. And there's a lot of issues that need to be addressed. This is where the First Ladies Health Fair steps in. And very happy to be able to present to them what's going on. And if you go to my Facebook page right now, you can check out a flyer. Just trying to find the link from the Voice of Black Cincinnati. First Ladies Health Fair Day. They got 12 locations, and you can get free screenings for a variety of different things that are going on. Good morning to you. Welcome to the show. Come on in. Come on in. First Ladies Health Fair will be October the 13th. That's this Sunday coming up. Free flu shots, free mammograms, and free health screenings for adults and children in the Cincinnati area. You can find doctors and physicians in Cincinnati accepting new patients, get self-care ideas, tips, activities, and plans. They do have vouchers for free dental screenings at all the locations. So this is the 5th year they've been doing it. And there's going to be 12 locations in Hamilton County. Matter of fact, let me post it right now inside of the Chop Shop. You can check it out for yourself. And the First Ladies for Health is leveraging the leadership of the ladies of faith-based organizations to inspire and empower people in the Cincinnati, Hamilton County area to focus on their health. And whether you know it or not, HIV is on the rise in Hamilton County. So make sure you get tested. Black women are being diagnosed with more and more with breast cancer. If I can get it out. Have you been checked? They'll have mammograms. They'll be free. It'll be available. They'll have 12 locations. Among the services that will be offered are screenings for HIV. Don't be shy. Diabetes, hypertension, breast and prostate cancer. Hey, fellas, when's the last time you got that prostate exam? Vision, dental, brain health, and lung health. You know, there's a vaping issue going across the nation. Young people are destroying their lungs with strawberry-flavored I don't know, vaping, air. I'm not sure what the hell it is. Flu shots will also be available. Children's screenings include flu shot, blood pressure, asthma, body mass index, dental, vision, speech, language. Again, these screenings will all take place on the same day. That's Sunday, October 13th at 12 locations. Now, not all of the places will have each specified screening. So I'm going to post a link right now. It's on my Facebook page where you can check it out for yourself and you can get more information. Boom. And then I'm also going to post it inside of the Friends page and the Chop Shop so you can check it out for yourself. And hopefully you'll share it with somebody who can use it. If it's not you, you're like, Nate, I'm cool. We got it. Cool. That's great. That is such a beautiful thing. I'm glad you're doing well in life. That is great. But there are people in our community that may not have a regular, what do they call it, family doctor. They might even have health insurance in some cases. Or you may feel like, hey, this might be something they want to do. Let me run down some of the locations here. Not all of them, but some of them. So some of the locations included with the First Lady's Health Fair, which is October the 13th, which is this coming up Sunday, is New Prospect Baptist Church out in Roselawn, New Jerusalem Baptist Church in Carthage, Allen Temple AME in Roselawn, Rockdale Academy in Avondale, Corinthian Baptist Church in Bond Hill, and the Word of Deliverance in Forest Park. Now, that's not all of them. That is not all of them, but I posted a link. You can check it out for yourself and run through all of it. College Hill, Evanston, Madisonville, West End, Winton Hills, all of those neighborhoods is going to have a location that's going to be participating with the First Lady's Health Fair. Again, that's October the 13th. Hey, good morning to you. Ray writes, hey, Nathan, went to the breast cancer event at Mango's. Decent turnout from when I was there. Good. I talked with the people from the Erica J. Holloman Foundation. You know, I was helping them promote it, and they said that they earned more money with that event than any other event they've ever done, and they were very pleased with the turnout. So thank you for being there, Ray. I heard really great things. Again, triple-negative breast cancer is killing Black women at an alarming rate. Okay, and I'm no expert on this. I don't give a damn if it's a mammogram or a stemogram, whatever we need, and we need to push the research in this particular direction. That's part of the education and awareness of the Erica J. Holloman Foundation, is that because this is something that afflicts Black women, the research dollars aren't there like you might see with other forms of breast cancer. And that's a problem. That is a problem. Good morning. All right, sir. Also, I'm sorry if I can get it all out. I also want to remind you, if I can get it all out this morning, good morning to you, is that on October the 13th will be our first CCW class, the Nathan Ivey Show, the Choppers. We're going to hit the range this Sunday. And we've already got people signed up, and a lot of folks have expressed interest. If you are interested, just let me know, and you can cash at me. I talked with the folks from Ride or Die, and of course, the total payment will be $90. But if you want to secure your spot with half a payment, like a partial payment, which would be $45, they say that's fine. And then the day of the event, you can take care of the other side of it. So if you want to reserve your seat, we only are going to take about 23 people max, unless we just if we get like 30, listen, then they'll get more instructors for that particular day, which is coming up on this Sunday. CCW class. If you want to get CCW, and that is your concealed and carry permit, it will give you the right to conceal a firearm and walk around the streets of Ohio. Currently in Ohio, this is an open carry state. You can take your firearm if you'd like to and get yourself a little holster or something, put it on your thigh. You can strap it across your back or even your chest. I've seen it done a lot of different ways. And legally speaking, you can walk around the streets of Cincinnati, and legally speaking, the police are not supposed to mess with you. That's legally speaking. But we're talking about your CCW. This gives you the legal authority to conceal a firearm for your safety, for the safety of your family, and then traverse into public places here in Hamilton County. If you're interested, it'll be, let me give you all the details here. We're going to be at their Fairfield location. We're going to be at their Fairfield location, We're going to roll with the folks out there with the Ride or Die organization. And we'll be at their Fairfield location, which is their primary spot. And we're going to start with the CCW class. It starts at 8 a.m. on Sunday. I know that's usually a church Sunday, but I'm asking you this one Sunday. Let's maybe do a little something different. Let's all get certified together. 4 hours of instruction, sort of like class instruction. Then you go out into the range. And that's what you need to qualify legally in the state of Ohio. And then you'll be certified. Now, once we get a good group of folks who are all on the same level and we certified, then we're going to move into tactical training. And I've already been spoken with the folks at Ride or Die. Matter of fact, I ran into Forte. I'm walking to the convenience store, and I hear Forte. He's like, "What up, brother?" He just happened to be there, right? So we talked for a minute. Shout out to you, Forte, if you're listening. But that'll be this Sunday. This Sunday, bright and early, 8 a.m., we're all going to get certified so we can protect ourselves and our family. It's crazy times out there. It's crazy times in there. Hey, I believe in a higher power, too. But you also got to help yourself. I'm a big believer in that. Let me give you the address so you can, Google it right now if you're interested. 2830 Mac Road. That's in Fairfield. The zip code is 45014. Again, 2830 Mac Road. The zip code is 45014. 45014. 2830 Mac Road in Fairfield. And there's a big interest, and the interest is because people want to protect themselves. We living in the last days of common sense. You can't trust it these days. Anything can happen these days. People can just show up dead, mysterious circumstances. People don't know what the hell's going on. Like the curious case of Joshua Brown. Let's talk about this. So Joshua Brown was a key witness in the AMber Guyger murder trial. And then it was reported that he was killed in a drive-by on Friday. Key witness against Dallas ex-cop AMber Guyger. And you know that the police, there was at least one member of law enforcement who got up on the witness stand and testified basically that he thought that AMber Guyger did nothing wrong. Like, hey, it's terrible, but hey, she thought it was her own house, so what do you want from her? Dallas police have confirmed that Joshua Brown, 28 years old, he lived across the hall from Botham Jean, and he testified that AMber Guyger had not asked Jean to show or raise his hands before she shot him dead in his apartment, mistaking him for her own. So he testified for the prosecution against her ass. Now, of course, if you don't know, AMber Guyger was found guilty and sentenced to 10 years in prison. But not before there was a whole lot of emotion. People doing her hair, braiding her hair, hugging her, giving her Bibles. Whole lot of emotion. AMber Guyger, 31 years old, is white. Botham Jean was in his late 20s. He was a man of color. Police say that Joshua Brown was shot multiple times and pronounced dead at the hospital. Apparently, it was a drive-by. Witnesses say that a silver sedan sped out of the parking lot after the gunshots. There's people saying that this is an assassination already. There's people out there saying that this is an assassination. Really? What do you think? Now, we're 1,000 miles away here up north in Cincinnati, us northern Negroes. But what do you think? What have you come across since the weekend when this was actually being reported? Is this just mistaken? This is just a coincidence? Now, as I understand it, the suspect and the motive to this point are still unknown. Police are still investigating this. How hard are they going to investigate this when he was a key witness against her? Are police going to be like, F him? How dare he come out and testify against one of our own? Who someone said that he was shot close range while he was exiting his car. Now think about that. Think about the times when you are in the most vulnerable position throughout your day. Think about it. Like when you're getting in and out of your car, especially out of your car, that's a very vulnerable position. Because typically the car is going to be lower. You're getting out of the car. You turn the car off. You're double checking to make sure everything is okay. You've got your card. You got your keys. I'm sorry, not card. You got your cell phone. You got your keys. You've got, making sure you don't leave anything valuable out. Maybe you're putting it in the armrest or in the glove box. Just kind of, you get out your car. Somebody roll up on you as you're trying to get out the car, man. You defenseless as a motherfucker. You ain't got no shot. What shot do you have? And to me, this is something that needs to be. See, my thing about this is, why wasn't this young man protected? Or was this just something else that was just coincidental? From what I've read, Joshua Brown was shot in his mouth and in his chest. So he was shot in the face and shot in the chest. That's take you out time, right? Whoever did that was in it to win it all the way. They was in it to take him out the game. Shot in the mouth and the chest, close range. So that means whoever shot him wanted to make sure he was dead. Their intention was not to wound him. It was not to scare him. It was not to graze him. It was not to incapacitate him. It was not to maim him. It was to kill him. You get shot in the mouth and the chest? Sounds professional to me. And apparently Joshua Brown's mother has already reached out to legal help. Could you imagine if that was your child? What would you do? And apparently there's still some controversy about, or not controversy, but it's still a little fuzzy, right, about where he was actually shot. Because initially it was kind of put out that he was shot in the back, and then it was told he was shot in the mouth and the chest. So we'll have to wait and see. A witness said they provided aid to a wound in his buttocks and his side. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to get an autopsy to figure out what actually happened to this man. Now, Joshua Brown lived directly across from Botham Jean. Some of this is just, I don't know, man. It's a young brother too, man, like early 20s, he looks like. And apparently, this brother was actually, doing something with his life. He had played a little football at USF. He was an entrepreneur and was doing the whole Airbnb thing, right? So far, a $100,000 reward has been offered for details for any information that would lead to the killer of Joshua Brown, who, as I'm reading this morning, his mother is absolutely just devastated. Could you imagine? $100,000, y'all. So what do y'all think actually happened? Was this like police? Let me just go ahead and put it out there. Is this police retaliation? Are we going to show you? Oh, you testifying now? Oh, you testifying now? Oh, okay. Oh, that's what we doing on officers? Oh, okay. We got you. Well, again, the speculation is going to run wild just because of the close proximity to the case. And is it true that this drive-by shooting happened in the same parking lot of the same, apartment building in which AMber Guyger killed Botham Jean? Now let me think about that. If that's true, man, that's what the hell? What kind of criminals is going to prior crime scenes? Or maybe that's a perfect place to pull somebody off. Because who would ever think that we do a drive-by in the parking lot of the same apartment building that was on TV for the last 2 or 3 weeks? Everybody's been talking about for a year. I don't know. And I mean, what would the police really have? I mean, at this point, she's already been convicted. Maybe it has nothing to do with AMber Guyger whatsoever. It's just a coincidence. You never can tell these weeks. Never can tell. I'll tell you one thing is, we will not tolerate any belly aching about the Bengals on this show. You get what you get, and you don't have a fit. You want to put your little jersey on Sundays? You want to go who they, cool. You get what you get, and you don't have a fit. It is what it is. It is what it is. That's all we need to say about it. 513-873-7134. If you would like to share your thoughts this morning. I'm loving this time of year, man. Basketball season's almost here. The preseason's kicked off. I'm looking forward to it. I got a chance to watch the highlights of the Laker game against the Golden State Warriors. Where's Brian at? Hold on. Where's Brian? Oh, Brian, where you at, B? Where you at? Oh, there you are, Brian, at 8:11 a.m. Good to see you, sir. I know. Tell me about your Warriors, man. I'll hit you up on Facebook after the show. We can get into it. All I can say is Anthony Davis is different. That's all I'll say. He's a different talent, man. That motherfucker, damn. What did his parents do to produce him? Because I want to do that with my son. That motherfucker like 6'11", athletic, strong, jumping out the gym. The Golden State Warriors don't have nothing for him whatsoever. LeBron looked good, man, but LeBron is older now. He's not old, but he's older. He's like 35 out there. He ain't gonna be able to keep up that pace. It ain't gonna happen. But I love it. LeBron should be stepping back now, get you a young gunner, and y'all team up, just like they did with like David Robinson and Duncan. Kick back, let the young buck do what he do, come in at, different times with that wisdom and, key moments and shots and ride into the sunset, and don't break down like Kobe and Shaq did. And I see at least 2 championships next 3 to 4 years. Damn, I didn't know how good Anthony Davis really was. I guess I had forgotten. Damn. The Warriors was like, man, it is what it is, yo. We ain't got Kevin Durant to go run to. How you feel about this, Brian? I loved it. Sorry to scream in your ear. I loved it. I love this. Just what the block needed. It's just what the world needed. Love it, man. It's going to be fun this year. It's always better when you don't know who's going to end up winning. Now we can have some fun with it. But listen, I gave you the details as I have it, the facts as I have it about Joshua Brown, and then what's been put out there. A $100,000 reward down in Dallas. The family and the lawyers have gotten together with some concerned citizens and raised that money to try to get some information. Again, this just happened. They already got $100,000 out there. And we're all speculating here about rumors and what people said. Is anybody in Dallas right now? I noticed CJ is in Houston. But anybody in Dallas, close to Dallas? I'd love to get your thoughts about that. I thought there was at least one person that was in Dallas. I can't remember who it was. Joshua Brown, 28 years old, dead. He is dead. Shot at close range as he was exiting his vehicle to go back into his home. And police say they don't know what's happening. They don't know what's going on. Witnesses said that a silver 4-door sedan was seen leaving the parking lot quickly after they heard gunshots. Now, who would want to kill this brother after this brother just did his civic duty? He was just on TV doing the right thing, speaking up. He didn't punk out like those Tracy Hunter jurors did. Speaking of Tracy Hunter, of course, she was released over the weekend. People are happy. It was a miscarriage of justice that she was ever incarcerated for any time whatsoever, especially when we're dealing with all of these big-time criminals and crazy folks and white-collar criminals that really need to be locked up. Sheriff Jim Neal said that because of the good work that she was doing, working with the inmates and kind of teaching them about their rights, and I don't know the details. I don't know all the details. I'm sure there's other people that do. Vanessa Enoch she had an interview with his brother about 2 weeks ago. It was on YouTube. Somebody posted it inside the Friends page. But now Tracy Hunter is out. Now what happens? Is it going to be some more lawsuits? What happens next? Should Tracy Hunter run for Cincinnati City Council? I've heard that. Can she legally? Would she win, in your opinion? But I was just happy to see that she was released. It's just so funny, man. I mean, that's white male power. That's what you saw. I want to say it again. The whole Tracy Hunter thing was nothing more than white male power flexing its muscles like Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? In the first Predator, when he was young, he had the guns flexing their muscles like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie The Predator. That's all that was for 10, 12 years. And we sat back and let it happen. It's the truth. Motherfuckers making excuses. It's the truth. That was white male power from the beginning to the end. And to me, it just opens my eyes to just how important the political system really is. I don't know how you look at that, but the way I look at Tracy Hunter, along the lines, I see non-black people in positions of power and authority that made all these decisions on so many different levels, state level, local level, the court level, you name it. You name it. Yeah, you name it. We are going to pump you up. Remember that from SNL? That was a white male power structure in Cincinnati. Flexing. Flexing on Tracy Hunter. But I'm glad to see she's out. She never should have been exonerated. Sheriff Jim Neal should have gave her like a 4-1. I think he gave her like a 3-1. So she got out 2 months earlier. Some of the media reports have been, pathetic. I mean, just the way the articles were written, right? I don't know who the hell's writing these articles about Tracy Hunter in local news, but I have not been happy about some of the ones that I've read. Because they're leaving out a lot of the history. Speaking of history, I want to talk about Laura Brunner. Is that her name, Brunner? And she's the CEO of the Port Authority. And she's doing like a guest column series over at Cincinnati.com. I got a chance to read the first one. And I ain't happy. Who the hell does Laura Brunner think she is? Telling us shit we already know. Telling us about redlining. Earth to Laura Brunner. We already know about that, boo. Telling us about, the federal government and FAA loans. We already know about that, boo. We got that, boo. My issue is what is happening right now, and in what role is the port playing in, the separate, unequal treatment of African Americans and then non-black people. You know it. I'll post a link in it inside the Friends page. I'll get to that probably the second hour. I read it and I was like, okay, you give me a history lesson, but I already know this, boo. I got this. What I want to know is tell me if the Port Authority's sweetheart deal with the FC Cincinnati, where every single year they get a brand new deal, this allows them to skirt taxes. Tell me if that's a part of the problem. I'm waiting. Fucking you damn right it is. Excuse me my language. You damn right it is. Don't give me some history lesson. We got that. We already know how we got here. Oh, well, there was redlining the banks and the FAA and the collapse in the early 2000s. The just we hit black folk homeowners. We got that. We got that. What are you going to do now about it? And is Laura Brunner ready to do a self-examination on port policies and ask herself if in any way port policies have led to the fact that black people are being left out, in some cases, the renaissance that's happening here in the city of Cincinnati. We'll get to that during the second hour. A lot to talk about. 513-873-7134 if you'd like to share your thoughts. And then there at the end, about 10 a.m. this morning, we'll talk with, Deanna Cranley, I believe. It's the mayor's wife, who's a part of the First Lady's health initiatives. We'll talk with her about 10 a.m. this morning. So the show's going to run a little longer than 10 a.m. for your listening pleasure. Then tomorrow at 8:30 a.m., we're going to catch up with Janaea Trotter, who's running for municipal court judge. And we'll talk about what her why is. Why is she running? And why is she better than her challenger? who is like 12 years a judge, or is it 16 years a judge? I don't remember. But we discussed it. This was going to be as we get closer to November, more political candidates, things like that. And then for me personally, November is 1 year out. So these are going to be highly politically charged times, folks. These are going to be highly politically charged times. And you may notice, as typical, a shift in terms of the focus of what we talk about here on the show. But it'll always be about people, politics, and pleasure. That's just who I am. I don't want to change. I am who I am. But tell me your thoughts. 513-873-7134. I would love to hear them. What's going on? What is going on? How was your weekend? That's what I want to know. How was your weekend? Good morning to you. Let me back up here. Ray was first inside the chop shop. Good morning to you, Ray. Tracy writes, hi. Good morning to you, Tracy. Brenda writes, happy Monday. Happy Monday to you, Brenda. If you're just tuning in, I want to remind you that next Sunday, we're going to kick off our first CCW class. Okay, it's going to be out in Fairfield at the Ride or Die Fairfield, regular location. That's at 2830 Mack Road. Let me give you the zip code so you can go, do your research, decide if you want to travel that far. 45014, kind of make your plans, kind of figure out how long it'll take you to get from where you're coming from. The plans to meet up no later than 8:15. They're asking between 8 and 8:15. We all arrive. The total certification for your CCW, which is your concealed and carry permit. This will allow you to conceal your weapon, walk around the streets of Ohio. Okay, there are restrictions, certain buildings and places and things like that, but all of this will be explained by the instructors. Black instructors, former police officers. This is what they do. They work with a lot of folks here in the city, and they're going to lead us in the CCW class and then lead us into more tactical training so that you can get ready for emergent situations. So you can be familiar with firing a firearm from what people may call, odd or different positions, things like that. But this is the first step. Now, the total cost for it will be $90. 100% of that goes straight to them. I don't get anything out of this other than the pleasure of arming Black people so we can be safe and protect ourselves from the nonsense that's out there. You know what I'm saying? Listen, it is what it is. Okay, this is purely defensive for me, but you got to do what you got to do in the crazy world we live in. So if you have a firearm and you want to use it, please bring it. They're asking that you bring at least 50 rounds of ammunition. Each of us will be shooting 50 rounds per person, which is, I understand it, a bit more than you might get in some other places. They're going to bring two types of weapons, a revolver and an automatic, so you can figure out what the difference is and figure out what works best for you. 4 hours of instruction in class, 4 hours on the range, and we'll be doing it together on Sunday. If you're interested, you can cash at me. You can do it either way. You can make a full payment of $90 or a partial payment of $45 and then pay the difference on Sunday. Your payment will, of course, hold your seat, and you can cash at me to the Nathan Ivey Show or PayPal me to the Nathan Ivey Show, and that will confirm that we've got your spot. Now, what if you send me the Cash App or PayPal, $45 or $90, and then you can't get it? Well, then I'll totally refund it to you. That's your money. Or I'll hold it, and we'll be doing more classes throughout this year, because we need to try to get in with the weather, and then next year as well, we'll pick back up with some more classes. I've spoken with Forte over at Ride or Die, and they're willing to set up the first sort of tactical training in November. So I like to get this done and schedule something for our first class in November. I know a lot of people already have a CCW, and you're waiting for that, and I want to at least get one in before the season turns. It gets too cold outside. Now, they're available to go outside even when the weather can get a little bit more cold. They don't want to do anything in the snow and the ice. But if it's a little bit cold, a little bit whatever, they're okay with that. If you're okay with it, I'm okay with it. I think that might be kind of, interesting, but I'll leave it up to the group. If the total cost is $90, which is a little bit different, I think it's like $10, $20 cheaper than what they usually do, special rate for us. And you're going to get first-rate training, hands-on training in a small group setting with people that you might be already familiar with. So if you're interested, that's what we have to offer. That'll be this Sunday, okay, October the 13th, kicking off. And I would love for you to be there. I will be a part of the entire class. I ain't going nowhere. We're going to do it together. And I'm looking forward to it. The wife, you might even be in the class as well. We'll see if we can work that out. So I'm looking forward to it. I'd love for you to be a part of it. Why? It's about safety. We read the headlines every single day. This brother's walking out. Not to say if he had a weapon on that it still couldn't happen, but all I'm saying is maybe I'm old school. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it any day of the week. I'm the most nonviolent person you're ever going to meet. That'd be the worst thing in the world, to have to take another human being out of his life. But I'll do it. It becomes protecting me and my family. And it is what it is. I know you feel the same way. So that's what we have to offer coming up this Sunday. And please let me know. And I'll make sure that you can be a part of it. Okay, so we're looking for like 23. And if we go over, I just need to know, because they'll get more instructors. So we don't have like 2 instructors for 40 people, right? Which, as Forte has told me, that just won't work very well and efficiently once we get out on the range, right? We want everybody to have a chance to get on the range, have the time they need to feel comfortable, to get the instruction that they need, that personalized instruction, so that once we leave on next Sunday, everybody feels like they got their money's worth, right? And everybody feels like you got the instruction and the knowledge that you need, right, to really be proficient. Again, this is just the first step. I see us moving forward and doing this into next year and getting way past proficient. I want to go way past that. So let me know. The door is open, and we do still have slots available, and I would love for you to be there. I got to get a group pick. If you don't want to be in a group pick, you don't have to, but I'd love to get a group pick with everybody as we move forward. So that's what we have to offer. That's coming up this Sunday. October the 13th. So let me know. 513-873-7134. Let me move on. Clue Magic's in the house. He writes, good morning, Nate and the Chopper. Say, good to see you, Clue. Josh was killed by an agent of the state of Texas. That's what Clue says. Man, I mean, wouldn't that be something if that gets revealed? Do you think that we'll ever know? Do you think that we'll ever really know what happened to Joshua Brown? Or is it going to be like one of those things where you never really get any conclusion on it? Miss D writes, greetings. Jared writes, good morning, hashtag Team at I. CJ writes, good morning, all. Magnanimous King writes, good morning. Good to see you. Brian writes, morning. Magnanimous King writes, or should I say New Day? So you're so funny. New Day was like the campaign strategy promotions for the current Bengals season, right? If you come to Cincinnati, they're still up. You got some of those digital billboards, and they'll say Who Day, and they got like some really cool graphics. I don't know, man. I mean, like I said, when you're 0-5, let me think. Have you ever been 0-5 before in anything? Like, metaphorically speaking, have you ever been 0-5? Like right now, the Bengals are 0-5. But all I'm here to tell you is sometimes you're 0-5 in life. It happens. The only place that the Bengals have to go is up. I'll leave it like that. Jericho writes, hola, beautiful black people, and the others too. Although I did run into some Bengal fans on Sunday. It was way before the game, man. Sad faces. They had sad faces way before the game even started. I'm like, well, shit. Y'all starting off wrong. I'm going to tell you like this, man. If you are diehard and this is your form of entertainment, well, then enjoy it. That's what I understand. Like, if you're a diehard Bengal fan, even though your team is losing, enjoy it. You like football, don't you? Enjoy the process, because the only place they can go is up. They can't lose any more than they've already played. That's it. I'll leave it alone. Jericho writes, hola, beautiful black people, and the others too. Ray writes, I had to support, lost a sister many years ago, and another dealing with it now. Really? I didn't know that, Ray. Did you tell me that before? I'm sorry to hear that. That triple negative breast cancer is no joke. It's killing our sisters. It's killing primarily young women of color. Erica J. Holliday was in her 30s. Telling you, it was very, I can't talk about it too much. It's just, I get too emotional. I really do. Very hard to watch that. Through my wife. They were very close. Sharp writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Oh, yeah, man. And let me say, what's up to Elite this morning? Like I told you, folks, I had some car trouble last week. I really appreciate you still effing with me and finding the show. I started later on Thursday than I expected. And then again, I started later on Friday than I expected. But yeah, y'all was still rocking with me. I appreciate it. But it was a brother that came over to the crib to help me out. And we just kind of talked a little bit. I told him I would shout him out. What's up, Elite? Appreciate all the help, man. I told him I would tell my audience he gave me elite service. There's a brother, man. He's doing this thing like if you have like, I don't know, man. Man, it was a trip, man. It was a trip on Friday. I won't get all the details. I'll just say shout out to Elite. Appreciate your help, man. Clue Magic writes, an agent of the state laid in wait for Joshua in the parking lot and getting shit in the mouth and getting shot in the mouth is definitely a sign he was done because he sat on the stand. Clue Magic. I was waiting for somebody else to say it. That's kind of how I took it too. Like if this brother really got shot in the mouth, having heard no more evidence than that, for me, I don't think, I think it strengthens the argument that he's dead because he was talking on the witness stand. Now, I know it sounds like some old gangster with Harlem type stuff, but I'm just telling you, that's what it seems like to me. Who getting shot in the mouth out here? Unless somebody's trying to make a point. Or sometimes people get shot in the mouth and it's just a mistake. I mean, what's the brother's name? They got carjacked. Young brother that started on SoundCloud and made a name for himself. I can see his face, but I can't recall his name. XXX Tentacion, he got shot in the mouth. As I understand, the bullet went through his jaw. Carjacked his brother and shot him in the damn face. Tanika writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Mike Jones writes, good morning, Choppers. Blue Magic writes, no protection for cops for a person who testified against a cop. I guess they didn't deem him a threat. But I mean, really, is AMber Guyger that important? I mean, I could see if this was like a corruption case that had the potential of taking down like a whole lot of different cops or something like that. But AMber Guyger was already convicted. It was over with. What's the gain by killing his brother over what he said in AMber Guyger's case? And she was a Gilligan. What kind of Gilligan kills a man and then say, oh, it was my bad, I thought it was my house, and you're on the wrong damn floor? I mean, that's amazing to me that she could even offer that as a defense. I'll say it again. If she had any decency, she would have just threw herself on the mercy of the court and said, I apologize. Leave it like that. What y'all decide I have to deal with. Boom. But that's just too much to ask for humans these days. I understand it. You get your ass in a sling. You trying to get your ass out the sling. I get it. Mike Davis writes, rise and shine, young stars. Hey, good to see you, Mike. Magnanimous writes, no, Nate, he had moved from those apartments. He definitely was killed for testifying. Yeah, initially when it was reported he was killed in the parking lot of the incident of Boston John. That's what initially was reported. Ray writes, this is yet another message that these people don't care what we do or say. What the mayor of Cincy Day, 48 hours, they'll be back to biz as usual. Tracy writes, Joshua Brown movie didn't live there. Blue Magic writes, the Lakers look scary. The Lakers look super scary. And they didn't even have Kyle Kuzma, who's a young gunner. They did a play, and basketball heads may, I'm going to try to my best, and I'm not the best to kind of describe these kind of things, but there was a play that they did where LeBron came off a screen and was rolling toward the basket, and then AD was to the left of him rolling on his man toward the basket. I saw that play like, oh, that's a money play right there. That's an NBA 2K20 money play right there. How you gonna stop LeBron? It's hard enough to stop LeBron James by himself rolling, as they say, downhill toward the rim at the elbow. And now on the wing, you got AD, who's a lob threat, who can jump over and lob and dunk over anybody. That's gonna be fun. Love it. Brian Rice, hashtag GSW. Something tells me you'll be a Laker fan by the end of the year. And you know what, Brian? You come on over here. You know what I'm saying? Come on over here. Tracy Rice and was not killed there. Kelly Rice get more than Nathan. It's too early for that type of language. You're right, Tanika. I'm sorry. Trying to be a better man. Magnanimous Rice, they took his ID so he couldn't be identified right away to give the Dallas PD suspect a head start to get away. Oh, y'all all over this, huh? Ray Rice, I was listening to WOW this weekend. Why is Mike Allen commentating on anything again? Because he's been legitimized by non-black media, by white male media in the city. That's what it is. I don't understand. Like, Mike Allen was using his job to force a woman to keep staying in a sexual relationship with him, and she didn't want to. That was previous to Me Too. And it's just amazing to me that even through Me Too, he was giving commentary. There's no other lawyers that can give commentary about murder trials other than a man who used his job to force a woman to have sex with him. There's nobody else in Cincinnati who can give any kind of insights that Mike Brown is giving. I find that very hard to believe. If I ever interview Mike Brown, the first question is about this whole, I'm going to ask him, like, on what moral authority should we listen to anything you have to say? You a creep. Mike Allen is a creep, but he's been legitimized by 700 WOW. But yet they'll sit around and talk about Tracy Hunter. This is amazing. Oh, Tracy Hunter was a scourge. She was the worst thing ever. Mike Allen cheated on his wife, but again, who am I to talk about what a man does? But I'm just saying. Chasing this young girl around his office, trying to keep her in a relationship that she didn't want to be in. And then white male power, they use their white male power against this woman. Joe Dieters comes into office, basically fires her, forces her out. I think she had to leave the city. But Mike Allen's on TV. He's on radio giving commentary about whatever kind of stuff. I don't understand it. I wouldn't have it without some kind of challenge. I mean, if he can weather the storm and answer those questions, that'll say a lot. But I don't think anybody's ever asked him that before. I would. Like, on what moral authority should anybody listen to a damn thing you have to say, sir? Are you telling me we can't find better qualified lawyers that don't have, sexual harassment in their portfolio? You got a very serious sexual harassment charge in your portfolio. It was so embarrassing that he basically stepped down as Hamilton County prosecutor. But now he's running around in the media giving his thoughts. It's a damn shame. I'm with you, Ray. Don't get me dialed up. It's a damn shame, but it is what it is. Good for him. Magnanimous writes, no, those UDF's protests is what got Tracy Hunter released early. They were messing with the lender's money, and they couldn't have that, so someone, the lender's family or a something person, made a call and told them to release her now. That's right. Because Tracy Hunter supporters were not going to stop. They was like, you know what? The lenders are supporting the white male power structure that persecuted Tracy Hunter. So we going to target the lenders. How much UDF ice cream do black people in the city, people of conscience in the city, buy? Probably a lot. Ray writes, Nathan, will she be giving out Gold Star coupons? Ray writes, did anyone else go to the CPS students' jazz event at the Aronoff? It was nice. Kudos to the youth. I did not, but thank you so much. I see fast pictures in the house. She writes, I don't believe in coincidences. His murder was meant to send a strong, all caps, message. whether it was by police or police sympathizers or just an energized racist. Largely to blame for Joshua Brown's death are the off-base behavior of the judge and court official in the case. Hey, good to see you, Fast Pitch. Oh, man, I don't know. Again, I'm too far away. I have no insight whatsoever to what's happening in Dallas. But from 1,000 miles away, and I think we're about 1,500 miles away from Dallas. From 1,500 miles away from Dallas, it just don't look right. It does not look right, ladies and gentlemen. Not one bit. Not one bit. Magnanimous writes, that new Tyler Perry studio is dope. Atlanta is Wakanda minus the HIV epidemic. Yeah, I saw that that Tyler Perry opened up the first black movie studio, which is just kind of amazing when you think about it, right? Because as much as black people are in the media or in these movies, you would think that there was a black-owned movie studio, but obviously, well, ostensibly, on the surface, that is, it appears that that is not true. Yep, props to him, man. Props to him. It's great. Yeah, Tyler Perry officially unveiled the first black-owned studio, and there was a who's who of black glitterati was there, including Halle Berry, among others. Oprah was there. And it's called Tyler Perry Studios. It's state-of-the-art, and it's a 330-acre studio, and they got a lot of projects that have already been filmed there, including the Medea films, the AMC's Walking Dead, which I used to watch and got off the bandwagon. It's just too many zombies for me. It's just too much zombies, too much, just started to mess with me. And then Marvel's Black Panther, part of the Black Panther movie was shot at Tyler Perry Studios. And I remember Tyler Perry talking about this for years and years and years and years. So we'll see what they produce, man. Probably great stuff. That's cool. Love to hear it. Props to Tyler Perry. Do people feel differently about Tyler Perry now? Because some folks is like, oh, Tyler Perry don't be kind of making the movies that really support black men. But then if you look at some of his movies, he's got some movies out there. Remember the movie with Idris Elba, in which the black man is the hero taking care of the kids? I don't have a problem with it. I'm not a big fan of Medea. But I can tolerate it. I know other people enjoy it. Jerica writes, please be aware men can be diagnosed with breast cancer. Absolutely, Jerica. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. First Ladies Health Fair will be this Sunday. So if you're not rolling with us to the CCW class, then perhaps you're going to roll over to one of the First Ladies Health Fair locations. They've got 12 locations throughout Hamilton County. And there's a link. Matter of fact, let me post a link inside the Chop Shop. I don't think I've done that yet. It was another brother who was on the witness stand. He is a high school football coach and teacher. I hope he is being protected or protecting himself. He's probably in hiding right now. Sissy Tigress writes, AMber Guyger is appealing her murder conviction with a now dead star witness. This could be interesting. Watch. So that goes back to what I told you about AMber Guyger really not being remorseful for killing him. She ain't really remorseful for that. She ain't remorseful. If she files for an appeal, she's not remorseful. Okay? If AMber Guyger appeals it, she ain't remorseful. Because could she have gotten a lesser sentence? I mean, she'll be home in 5, maybe less than that. For murdering a man who posed no threat to you. And it was your mistake. So just think about it. Let's say you run through a red light and kill somebody. Don't you think you're going to do some jail time? Vehicular? Nah, you going to do something. AMber Guyger's legal team expected to appeal murder. That just goes to show you she never cared about the boy. She didn't give a damn about him. She cared about herself. She killed him, and she meant to kill him. And she's so narcissistic, so egotistical, that her mistake, she feels like it was an honest mistake. And that's why I say both from Jean's family embracing her is they look like fools, period. I don't hear all this stuff about people grieve differently. Bump all that. They're going to use that against you. So Ray made a great point. Or who was that? Was that Magnanimous King who made that point? Let me double check here. Whoever made the point, excellent point. Cincy Tigress. She writes, this could be interesting. A dead star witness. Interesting. Brian writes, it's preseason basketball, LOL. Yeah, Brian, it's preseason basketball. But one of those teams wasn't acting like it was preseason basketball. The Lakers came out there to send a message, and I think they did. I think they did. Hey, let me take a pause for the calls. It's almost 9 a.m. Thank you for rolling with me this morning. It's a beautiful Monday. Monday, October 7th, 2019. Now, if you live in the city of Cincinnati, they say it's going to be a little bit rainy until about noon today. And then the clouds are going to part and the sun's going to say hello to you in October. And we'll catch up right after this.
Talking about the stock market. Always looking to invest in a good opportunity, something with the potential to grow. So what if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock where you invest to make money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps students like me go to college, which ends up making the future better for everybody. I could be the first college graduate in my family, the first district attorney for my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there will be a second and a third. This can really be the start of something. My name is Charles, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling on it.
The dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off for school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Knowing your breasts can save your life. Go to knowyourgirls.org for the facts you need on breast health. Brought to you by Susan G. Coleman and the Ad Council.
U.S. Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the Lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hey, everyone. Let's all stop what we're doing right now and take a moment. That felt good, huh? Just like that, we had a nice, special sort of moment together. Of course, they don't all need to be quiet moments to be special. They could be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments. Moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. Sounds like somebody agrees. So let's take a moment to make a moment today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Nate Ivey in the air chair, broadcasting live from a secret location, brought to you by Sin Digital Media, independent media, new black media. It's great to be with you. Good morning, everybody. Now, in about an hour, at the top of the hour, the 10 a.m. hour, I'm scheduled to be joined by some folks from the First Ladies Health Initiative. They'll give you the who, what, when, and why, and what you can expect coming up. That'll be on this Sunday, October the 13th. They got 12 locations throughout Hamilton County. If you're interested, the First Ladies Health Fair, they've been doing this, I think it's the 5th year. Free flu shots, free mammograms, free health screenings for adults and children in Cincinnati. Your health matters because your health is your wealth. So attend the family health day of free Cincinnati health screenings. And again, it's going to be a one-day health fair at 12 locations here in Hamilton County. And you can get a multitude of services. You can get screenings for HIV. When's the last time you had HIV? HIV test. You know you're sexually active. Side pieces, you should be checked. You got a little side relationship, don't trust it. HIV, diabetes, hypertension, breast and prostate cancer, vision, dental, brain health, and lung health as well. No, vaping is in the news and the mysterious illnesses that young folks have contracted from vaping. Flu shots will also be available if you're into that. Now, they're going to do screenings for children. Here's a list of the children's screenings. They include flu shot, blood pressure, asthma, body mass index, dental, vision, speech, and language. Remember, these screenings will take place on the same day, Sunday, October 13th, at 12 locations, including New Prospect Baptist Church out in Roselawn, New Jerusalem Baptist Church in Carthage, Allen Temple AME in Roselawn, Rockdale Academy over in Avondale, Corinthian Baptist Church in Bond Hill, Word of Deliverance in Forest Park, the College Hill Recreation Center, Evanston Recreation Center, New Life Temple Church in Madisonville, the Seven Hill Neighborhood Houses in the West End, YMCA on Elm Street, and the Mother of Christ Catholic Church in Winton Hills. All right, let me grab, and I want to paste this for you. I'm going to paste this inside the Friends page and the Chop Shop right now, so you can check it out for yourself if you're interested. If not, if you're like, Nate, I'm cool, well, share it with somebody that you love. Share it with somebody that you love who you think might be interested. Boom, it's inside of the Friends page. There it is. Check it out. A lot of great stuff over the weekend that people have posted. I'll be going through some of this. It's hilarious. Did you hear the AMber Guyger jurors? I'm not sure if you got a chance to check out the Is It Just Me podcast with Donnie B. She was talking about these AMber Guyger jurors. And you got to watch this. I'm really concerned about some of the dumb... What time is it? Damn. I'm really concerned about the things that I heard. I heard some of the most preposterous things I've ever heard in my life come out of this white man's mouth. To be honest with you, this white male right here said some of the most unbelievable stuff I've ever heard in my life. Talking about, oh, well, I really believe that if both of them had just been shot and he wasn't killed, that he'd forgive AMber Guyger. No, the hell I'm not. If you burst into my house on some AMber Guyger type stuff and you shoot and wound me, you ain't getting I ain't giving you no damn forgiveness. I'm going to sue your ass. Did you hear what this guy said? Oh, I really believe that. And see, this all goes back to devaluing black life. And I'm really upset with this young sister and some of the things she said. You got to check it out for yourself. You got to hear this. I mean, this is amazing. Oh yeah, I really believe that if he was alive, that he would just want to be friends with Amber Guyger and they could live together happily. What? The man is dead. The man was dead. And they also said that when they saw Botham, Jean's brother, I think his name is Bertrand, when they saw him hug Amber Guyger, that made them feel better about their decision in giving Amber Guyger less time. See, this is a great example of devaluing Black life. That's all this is. I mean, because if his life had value, that means that somebody has to pay for his life being robbed. They gave this woman 10 years? Oh, you got to hear this, yo. Let me see if I can pull this up. I can't pull this up fast enough. You've got to hear this. I'm sure you're already aware of it, but I want to give you some analysis. Kind of piggyback off what Donnie B was talking about on Friday. I think she was 100% correct. I'm like, these jurors, their mentality? They sat down with ABC News like on Thursday, Friday, and did a little interview talking about, oh, well, you know, Botham was such a good guy that, you know, he'd probably forgive Amber Guyger. What? What? Oh, my gosh, man. All that peace and love, man. That's great for people that deserve it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I really feel like Botham was such a good guy that if he just would have been, this was the Black female said this. If he, I really believe if he was just wounded instead of mortally wounded, that if he just would have forgave her. What? What? Where they do that at? We forgiving people for shooting you now? Where they do that at? Tell me where they do that at? Nowhere. They don't do that nowhere. Well, he didn't really kill you. I mean, this goes back to Black pain not really being that horrible. It's just a flesh wound. I mean, come on. Don't make a big deal out of this. I mean, it was a mistake, right? This is amazing to me. Good morning to everybody. Good morning to you. Thank you for listening. It's just amazing to me. I don't get it. I mean, it's so crazy that Black people in public are now making declarations about what might happen if they get killed. Like, Black people are saying things like, well, if that was me, don't be shaking hands with these mofos. People are posting stuff on Facebook. It just goes to show you the incredible times that we live in that people feel compelled to do that. And then you got this juror talking about something. Well, if he would have lived, I'm sure you would have forgave her. No, he wouldn't have forgave her. She would have been charged. She still would have been charged. He could have went after her civilly. Oh, well, it was a mistake. Things happen. I mean, all you did was blow off my clavicle. That's all you did. I mean, no big deal. At least I lived. What world is that? That's a world in which Black life is not that valuable. So you can equivocate and come up with these calculations and woulda, coulda, shouldas and all this kind of stuff. Hell no. And they actually sat down with ABC News and said this crap. Like, out of their mouths, like, for everybody to hear them. Like, it was legitimate. Did y'all see this? Did y'all hear this? Amazing to me. I'm telling you, man. We are living in incredible times. We are living in incredible times. And it just goes to show you just how dumb some people are, man. What came out of their mouths was just dumb. I can't even put it no other way. What came out of their mouth to me was just straight up ignorant. I won't call it dumb. It was ignorant. Because dumb doesn't really perfectly explain it. It was just very ignorant, naive. And I'm just wondering, what did we get ourselves into? I'm pulling up right now. I want you to hear this in case you miss it.
We will hear from Brant Jean live in just a few moments. But first, Marcus Moore joins us from Dallas. Marcus, good morning to you. You spoke with two of those jurors who convicted Amber Guyger of murdering her neighbor.
Yeah, Cecilia, these two jurors gave us a glimpse of what it was like inside that jury room as they made this difficult decision. And they told me there were sleepless nights and a lot of tears.
I think that was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do.
This morning, two of the jurors who found former Dallas police officer AMber Guyger guilty of murdering Botham Jean are speaking out.
There's no way we can ever know what he would want, but I think we all had to make a decision that we could live with and that our conscience could be sound with.
The diverse jury, made up of 8 women and 4 men, all of varying ethnicities, sentenced AMber Guyger to 10 years behind bars. These jurors telling us the decision was not an easy one.
There was a lot of crying.
A lot of crying.
When we were told to go decide between 5 and life, that was like, we didn't have words.
Prosecutors were asking for 28 years.
They were.
You all landed at 10.
After hearing about how his family talked about him, he seemed like just the light in their lives, and he was kind and just caring and forgiving. And I told everyone, I was like, I'm really having a hard time with this because we all agree that it was a mistake, and I don't think Bo would want to take harsh vengeance. I think he would want to forgive her. And I didn't feel like...
Stop right there. This is the motherfucker. What time is it? This is the mofo that messed up the jury. He's telling you. He's the one. He's the reason why they didn't get 28 years for AMber Guyger. His ass. In there with that soft-spoken, guys, I really don't think that Bo... They back there calling him Bo. You didn't know this man. He was such a kind soul, and I really don't think that he would want her to go to jail for a long time for killing him. That man was a plant. See, sometimes telling you, I'm looking at this guy right now. He has an unusually large cranium. I'm on to something here. I'm telling you the truth. Look at the video. He knew what he was doing. He took control of the jury on the low, hitting them with that BS about, I'm just a small-smoking person, and I really don't think that Bo would be vindictive like that. The prosecutor said 28 years. She should have got that. But this Mickey Ficky in the courtroom influencing people with his Jedi mind tricks. Talking about it was so hard. What's so hard about it? It wouldn't have been hard for me. From what I saw, it's open and shut. The hard thing was dealing with this Mickey Ficky and his subtle influences. Listen to his voice. I'm going to rewind this. Listen to what this motherfucker just said. Excuse me, but this is the reason why Botham Jean's killer only got 10 years. It's this guy right here. Listen to this.
Just the light in their lives, and he was kind and just caring and forgiving. And I told everyone, I was like, I'm really having a hard time with this because we all agree that it was a mistake, and I don't think Bo would want to take harsh vengeance. I think he would want to forgive her. And I felt...
No, you wanted to forgive her. That's what happened. You saw your sister. You saw your aunt. You saw your mama. And you wanted to forgive her. So he came up with some way to try to make it seem like, I'm really thinking about Bo. I'm really thinking about both of them. Now we know it was him. It was him. Guys, I'm really torn about this. I ain't torn. There's nothing to be torn about. She admitted it. She tried to lie about it. Talking about, she said, raise your hands. The witnesses said they didn't hear a damn thing. That was a damn lie. The text messages afterwards say that she only cared about herself. I'm in trouble, not I hurt somebody, they're in trouble. She had a history of making racist text messages. So let me get this straight. Super smart, super cool white dude who appears to love black folks. He's just so nice. He back there messing up the jury. It was him. Listen to him. His logic makes no sense. So let me get this straight. So if Botham Jean, it's like damn if you do, damn if you don't. Like on one hand, I think a lot of people believe that Botham Jean was the perfect victim, air quotes, right? And that's the only thing that led to a conviction. But the reason why, even after the conviction, even after hearing her make jokes about, when Martin Luther King is dead, making jokes about getting a racist police dog, you know what that means? You know why he think his dog is racist? You want to? Because he probably has a real aggressive response to black people. That's the reason why AMber Guyger's friend with a dog who was joking about a racist dog, and it was just so funny. How many people joke about racist dogs? I'm not a dog owner currently. I don't know. How many people joke about dead civil rights leaders? You think it's funny? I mean, that says something about your character. I mean, what you find funny, what you laugh at, says a lot about you. I don't laugh at every joke. Friend of mine slip and fall, I don't laugh. That ain't shit funny. Somebody tell an off joke about King being dead, I'm not chuckling. I'm looking at you like you're crazy. So this guy heard all of that about AMber Guyger, but then he wants to use the perfectness, the good nature, the kind-hearted nature of Botham Jean, in my opinion, against Botham Jean, because Botham wouldn't have wanted her to go to jail for what she did. Are you kidding me? What country are we in? When did we change the rules? So if Botham was a bad guy, if he had a history of just displaying his angry streak, then what? Then he never would have got a conviction, right? It's just like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. If Botham Jean had a long, lengthy criminal history, if he had a DV on his record with his baby mama, right, or something like that, they never would have got a conviction. But because he doesn't, that's used against or in the favor of the person that killed him, because he wouldn't want her to go to jail, man. I see right through it, homie. This is the guy right here, the mastermind, the Kaiser Soze of the AMber Guyger jury. This guy right here.
Him, and he isn't there to talk for himself, but listening to how people talked about him, I felt like he would forgive her.
They asked for 28 years, and I'm going to be honest and true. I was like, I can't give her 28 years.
Let's start right here. Who is this sister? Who is this sister? And where is her mama and her damn daddy? I can't give her that. Why not? Let's listen to what she says.
I know a lot of people are not happy about the 10 years, but I feel like, for this case was not like any other case. You can't compare this case to any of those other officers killing unarmed black men.
She's right about that.
Those officers that kill unarmed black men.
She's right about that. And Donnie B made a great point on Friday. Because a lot of people, and I had to admit that for myself, I'm looking at all these cases pissed off, right? Realizing she's a police officer. For me, that just means that I hold her at a higher standard. I don't expect, if there's an officer, if there's a shooting that takes place in public, and there's officers and there's civilians in the same space, I expect for the officers to react differently than the civilians, just their training. And the fact they got firearms, right? I was talking with Forte, right? He's going to lead us on Sunday over at Ride or Die. I said, man, we were talking about these mass shootings. I'm like, man, I really want my folks to have some kind of insight as to what they should do. If you got your CCW license, you get it with us on Sunday. You got your weapon. You ain't on no BS. You just want to make sure that you and your family get home every day, right? Let's say you're in a public situation. Boom, active shooter. What do you do? He's going to answer that question for us on Sunday. But back to this, though. So come on now. This woman right here, listen to what she's right about that. She's right in the sense that you can't blame AMber Guyger for Timothy Thomas. You can't blame AMber Guyger for Michael Brown. You can't blame AMber Guyger for any of these officer-involved shootings that's happened across the nation. You got to look at this case for what it is. She's right about that.
When they got out, they went back to living their lives. AMber Guyger, ever since she killed that man, she has not been the same. She showed remorse and that she's going to have to...
Hold on. But that's what happens when you mistakenly kill somebody. If you don't want to have AMber Guyger type problems where you all in the media don't want to go out anywhere because people recognize you, people think you a murderer. Well, I've got a couple tips. One, don't mistakenly go to somebody else's apartment, realize the door is open, and then shoot them before you allow them to explain. Real simple. Be aware of your surroundings. I mean, damn, it's 2019. Do I really have to say this to grown folks? Be aware of your surroundings. And you won't have to worry about those AMber Guyger problems. Where is her daddy? Where is she talking about? You feel bad for the woman that mistakenly killed a man that was smoking weed and eating ice cream. What, am I losing it?
To deal with that for the rest of her life.
Can I give her a hug, please? Please?
It was this moment of grace and forgiveness to Guyger from Jean's brother Brant that has the jurors convinced they made the right decision.
We found out this morning about what his brother did, and it kind of helped us feel like we ended up with the right decision.
One thing that Botham
Now listen to what he just said. I'm telling you, that's the Kaiser Sose right there. That's the mastermind. That guy right there was a major influence as to why the jury went for 10 years and not 28. Listen to him talking about us. So now you speak for everybody on the jury now, B? He said us. He said that was a major thing for us. No, that was a major thing for you. And then you start talking to the jury, right? A lot of these people ain't never been in a situation like that. People do strange things when they dealing with pressure, man. Human beings, even human beings who on the surface seem like they all got it, they in control, they always got it going on, they always got the right answer. You apply some pressure, you could be a completely different person. But he's in there calm, ostensibly pensive, thoughtful. Let's take it out, guys. I think he was such a good guy. I mean, I think Botham would just want her to get out of jail and just go back to her life.
Ended up with the right decision.
One thing that Botham can teach us all is that we should all love each other instead of hate each other. And I honestly think
Hold on. That's not what I get from Botham, John. What I get from Botham, John, is two things. One, make sure I keep my doors locked. And two, make sure I got my weapon ready when I'm in the house. That's what I get from that. What do you get from that? I ain't getting no damn peace and love. What are they talking about? Where's her father at, man? What is she talking? What is this young lady talking about? It is crazy. One thing we can learn from here, we always trying to learn some peace and love. We got peace and love. Black people are peace and love. We got that. One black folks that dropped a bomb on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. One black folks. It wasn't black folks that brought smallpox to the Native Americans and eradicated them. It was not black folks behind the Tail of Tears. If you go back to any of the most heinous things that have happened in this country, because we know the continent of Africa is different. American, talking about African American issues here. That's different. You ain't gonna see black folks behind it. You're gonna see other folks behind it. You know who I'm talking about. And yeah, she's talking about what we can learn is peace and love. Black people are all about peace and love. Where is her father at? I have to rewind this just so I can understand what I'm hearing here. This is so amazing to me.
Jurors convinced they made the right decision.
We found out this morning about what his brother did, and it kind of helped us feel like we ended up with the right decision.
One thing that Botham can teach us all is that we should all love each other instead of hate each other. And I honestly think that if Botham would have just got shot and not killed, I think he would have forgiven AMber Guyger.
She talking all that shit, and she'll be out the club talking about hot girl summer, ready to beat a bee's ass because she looked at her wrong. Get out of here. I want to hear all that. That was crazy. That was nuts. What did I just hear? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? That is amazing. That is completely the opposite of the way I think about it. If you walk in my house and mistakenly shoot me, ain't no coolness. I mean, I want to get you back. That's my first thought. You shot me by mistake, I get to shoot you by mistake now. Same spot. Right back ain't cheating, is it? It ain't cheating. Oh my God, the world we live in, friends. That's all I can say, man. We are living in the last days in common sense. They let this white dude use some basic Jedi mind tricks to move the whole jury. That's why I say we need people with strong constitution who are not going to punk out in pressurized moments to be on juries to combat what we just heard right here. Because I don't think anybody, after breaking this down the way I did, this man is the Kaiser Sose of this jury with his little subtleties, his soft smoking. People go for that kind of stuff sometimes. They do. You know what, guys? I'm torn here because clearly she's wrong and I'm outraged. Botham was a man of peace. And why ruin two lives? All this kind of stuff. It's called justice. That's why. That's why we should go ahead and ruin her life the way he ruined her life, or the way she ruined his life when she took his life. So the prosecution asked for 28 years because Botham Jean was 28 years old, and that's exactly, in a just world, what they should have gotten. They should have got that. Were there any black men on the jury? What did they have to say? They let this dude just run the jury like that? Well, guys, Jesus loves. Botham loved Jesus. Really? And this chick, she was hook, line, and sinker under his little wing. This is the toughest thing I've ever had to do. That's because you know what this guy was telling you was bullshit. We got 1 second here. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Bull, you know what? And your heart's gone. I guarantee you, I'm going to make a prediction right here. Within 5 years, this young lady is going to come out to the public and say, you know what? I let this dude bamboozle us. I really didn't feel that way, but I was young then. I'm a woman now. Got kids myself. Back to your chat here, man. Make it make sense. Let's see. Brian writes, I will never jump ship to become an LBJ zombie. Okay. Right. Who Magic writes, the Lakers might go 74-8, LOL. If LeBron was a young buck, I could see that. But load management, he going to be sitting down. AD's going to be sitting down a lot too as well. So, but I like Dwight Howard too. Dwight Howard's looking real good. He's talking right. I saw a couple of interviews. I can see somebody coached him up. He's saying all the right things. And it might be real. And Dwight Howard, if he remains healthy, I guarantee in the playoffs, he's going to play a big role, no doubt. Tony writes, kudos to Tyler Perry Studios. Just no more Madea movies. Oh, no. Wait. You can't have both of those things. Like, you giving this man props for kicking off his own new state-of-the-art 550-acre movie studio that he made because of Madea movies. If it wasn't because of those Madea movies, he never have this. So, it begs the question. The first thing that thought of my mind when I saw over the weekend that Tyler Perry was opening this brand new, spot. Like, on one hand, it's like a great story, right? It's a great story because, black owned, only one, people love it. We're going to get better movies for us, by us, all that kind of stuff, right? But look at how he was able to build that. He built it using a character that a lot of black people despise. So, I don't know. It is what it is. Mike Jones writes, Lakers 2020 champs. I can see it. I can see it all day. I love what I'm hearing. I'm hearing defense over and over again, and that's what champions should be talking about, defense. The offense will take care of itself. Defense. Brian writes, and they giving all those damn hugs. Mike Jones writes, just shows how ignorant some of our citizens are. Those jurors sounded dumb as hell, period. Super dumb. But that's not dumb. That's the subtle brainwashing of this. I'm telling you, this damn Sith Lord. This white dude in here. I don't know his name. Juror number 4, I think it is. Juror number 4, boom. Because he's speaking for us. In her quotes, I don't think she ever says anything like we. She was talking about herself. She said, this was the hardest thing I had to do. When he was talking about we, us, because he was using his Jedi mind tricks to control the population. Hitting them with that subtleness, man. That smooth white boy-ish. You know what I'm talking about. Keep it real. And they fell for it. And talking about some damn Botham genre. I think he would have wanted this. Are you losing it? But enough of me, Morgan. Let's go straight to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivey. This is your West Side Connection. Sleeping in this morning. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great.
I just turned on the show, and I hear your passion talking about the jurors on the AMber Guyger case. Mr. Ivey, have you ever been through the jury selection process or selected for a jury?
No.
Well, I have multiple times, and I don't know if you've talked about this in the Chop Shop today, but the process, both prosecution and defense go through everyone that's selected to be on the jury, and they can pick and choose who they want on the jury. Now, in my case, the 3 times that I was called, I was removed from jury duty because of my military law enforcement background, and plus that I grew up in a predominantly black community. And obviously, well, not obviously, but the cases were out here.
They excluded you for that?
Yes. At first, the defense wanted me because the defendant was a Mexican. So the defense wanted more people of color on the jury because, unfortunately, Nate, in the black and brown communities, in that age group between 18 to 35, they don't go for jury duty. So that's why a lot of times the decisions or some of the stories that you're hearing about this AMber Guyger jury, that's why sometimes the prosecution or the defense, they have no choice because this is the pool that they have to pick from.
Yeah, but what's that got to do? What's that got to do with what I was talking about, though? I'm talking about the thought process that these jurors have publicly stated that they used to arrive at their decision in sentencing. Which is
it's again, like I said, Mr. Ivey, when the juror process begins, everybody comes and sits in the courtroom. Okay, they're addressed by the judge. They bring the defendant in and the defense and the prosecution teams. Okay, then they call you up 12 at a time, and then the defense team asks you questions and the prosecution team asks you questions. But first, the judge goes over this specific questionnaire, basically related to the type of case that it is. So they're going to pick people to be in that juror pool who are, one, can actually sit on the jury because of they don't have an employment restriction, they don't have a health restriction, and other things like I was talking about, how they can only pick from the pool that they have available. So if one day, Mr. Ivey, you can just go down and sit in a courtroom,
I still don't understand what's that got to do with what I'm talking about. I mean,
I'm telling you, Mr. Ivey, that these people are selected by both sides for a number of reasons. And listening to you describe, and I heard the clip you played of a few of the jurors. Nate, this was strategic. The defense team, which was AMber Guyger's team, they had some good lawyers, so they knew they had to get this type of juror on the case. Now, do you understand that part? What I'm saying?
You now, yes.
Okay, so again, like I was telling you in my case, okay, this was a murder case, okay, and they asked me, okay, they said, did you know anybody that was murdered during your time? And I had to say yes, because I grew up in a predominantly black community. Okay. So the defense team wanted me on the jury. okay, because of now obviously we didn't hear all the details of the case, but the basic details, the defense team, they want people on the jury that are going to be sympathetic toward their client. That's why they bring the client in the courtroom during the jury process, Nate. I couldn't believe it. Okay, this one case, this Mexican, Nate, he looked like, he covered up his tats. He had a nice haircut. He obviously didn't say much, but he was smiling. He was looking and at one point, the prosecution addressed his defense team about how he was looking at the female jurors. And I'm telling you, Nate, it is very interesting, the jury selection process. Because if you look at the OJ case, that's just another major case. You look at the George Zimmerman case. All these cases, Nate, these jurors are specifically chosen because, again, the prosecution and the defense can only select from the pool of jurors that are possible potential jurors to sit on this case. Plus, you have to pick alternates as well. So I just wanted to offer that insight, Mr. Ivey, because I understand your frustration. But a lot of people, a lot of black people don't go to jury duty because, for one, they're not registered voters. So if you really want to make a difference, you have to make sure your registration is up to date. And they select from DMV, a lot of different ways that they select people. But you have to, if certain people aren't on the jury, you can have that guy, like you were talking about, all soft-spoken. He is selected as the head juror. When you go back for deliberation, you have to have someone in charge that's in charge of the 12 people that are there. So you pick someone to be in charge of the jury when you're away from the court and you're sitting in deliberation. And I'm telling you, Nate, when I was in there sitting, waiting to go through the process, it's people that love that stuff, Nate. They look forward to sitting on jury duty so they could be the jury foreman. I forgot the name of it, but it's a name for it. But I just wanted to offer that for you, Mr. Ivey. I don't have nothing else. I joined the show late, but I love to hear your passion on the show, Mr. Ivey. And that's all I got. You have a nice day, and I'll be listening bright and early tomorrow morning.
All right,
Drop
take
Squad
it easy.
52. Drop it. All right, peace.
Yep, take it easy. That's Drop. I didn't mean to cut off your your exit flow. I didn't want to stifle your creativity. Yeah, but yeah, we got all that Drop. Still, there was a Sith Lord on the AMber Guyger jury, and nobody knew. Or maybe they knew and there was nothing they could do about it. I don't know. If you would like to share your thoughts this morning, 513-873-7134, please feel free to do so, but you can always just chill out and take a free ride on my thoughts as I share with you some of the things that are going on around the community. Some things may be on your radar screen. They may not be on your radar screen. 50-50. Don't know yet. Not sure. But first, let me say this. How was your weekend? How was your weekend? My weekend was great. And another great weekend. Blessed to be alive. Friday, I crashed. I usually typically crash on a Friday. I'm done. Saturday night up early. Out and about during, just doing stuff throughout the day. Sunday, got a chance to record another podcast episode, which I'm really excited about. I got a couple of podcasts I want to share with you that we're working on right now. And I put up an image for you to check it out if you're interested. Yeah, I think that's going to be a great and very powerful podcast for those who are into it. And Sunday night, it was just busy, it seemed like the whole weekend. Didn't really pay too much attention to the Bengals until afterward, caught up with the stuff on YouTube. I thought they had won. This is the second week in a row. I thought, okay, must have won. Maybe I saw a score here or there on my phone. My phone is so great. It's got this nice little slide feature where I can just, from the homepage, get the current news. I love it. So I find myself doing that a lot, and I might have caught it on there. I wasn't aware until later that things didn't go the way I guess all you Bengal fans would have wanted it to go, but it is what it is. You get what you get, don't have a fit. It is what it is. What do you think? Any thoughts about what happened to young Joshua Brown? Is that the prevailing wisdom that you feel like is a member of law enforcement, that somehow this was retaliation? I mean, why is AMber Guyger that important? I could see if it was like a scandal that was taking down a lot of officers and maybe going higher up the ranks, some corruption, something like that. But who's gonna put out a hit on a witness in a case of this nature? Because we all knew she was essentially guilty from the jump. It was only about how much time she was going to get. Okay? Or not. Actually, early on, there was some real thoughts about her even being convicted at all. But after that, why take out this young man? Was he told not to? And it was kind of like, hey, we told you not to, so now we got to go ahead and go through with you. Is that what you're saying? I think if the autopsy shows he was shot in the mouth, that's going to open the door for more speculation. People are going to run with it. Crystal writes, good morning. Good to see you, Crystal. Chris writes, peace be on to you, family. Broadway writes, why wouldn't they think Jean would not forgive her? They had watched the brother hug and forgive her, right? Well, again, if I'm just, for me, what I would say though, Broadway, is, for me, the real question is the lens. That's a hell of a lens to be thinking about. Like, if I'm on a jury of that nature, am I trying to figure out if both of Jean would have wanted her to go to jail or not? No. That's like saying, like, if somebody writes a will, and at the end of their will, they say, look, if I am the unfortunate victim of murder, mistakenly, or some malice of another human being, my God has told me to always have forgiveness. If a murder victim, if somebody is murdered or killed, and you go back to the house, and they're going through the papers or whatever, and they find something in the Bible that reads such of what I just said earlier, I don't think that should be taken into consideration when it comes to the sentencing. One don't have nothing. Hopefully that soul will go to heaven for that. But that ass in this life, here is going to jail, the persecutor. So his nature to me has nothing to do with it. It's about community standards. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I wouldn't care if Botham Jean had expressly written that whoever murdered him, he wanted that person to not be found guilty. I don't think if I'm a juror that I would even consider that whatsoever. I wouldn't. Would you? Am I wrong? I guess I'm a bad human, huh? Call me bad then. Tanika writes, these jurors were fooling. Yeah. Yeah, they definitely were. Avery writes, good morning. Mike writes, how is a murder conviction a mistake? A mistake is involuntary manslaughter. What the F? Telling you, it was that white male. He used his Jedi mind tricks. He got the young sister. She didn't know what to think. He's like, yeah, Botham wouldn't want that. You're right. He wouldn't want that. You know, in her head, she's thinking, at first she said, I was so difficult. What was so difficult? What was difficult about it? She said she did it. He got shot in the heart. Well, I don't get it. And she thinks that it's funny to laugh about the death of dead civil rights leaders. She thinks that's funny. She sees black people are different, even her own colleagues. Right. And having a racist dog, which think about what that means. That means this is a dog that's aggressive toward black people. And that might bring back some visions of the South. Black and white images. But yet they had so much compassion for not her. Oh no, it wasn't her. It was for both of them. That's just some dumb ish they're telling you. Like running game. That's what it sounds like to me. Like somebody's running big time game. And it was that white male, the Sith Lord. He got in there, ran his game. He got the sister on the front. Oh yeah, got her. Probably had a couple more. I can't wait to hear from more of the jurors. Can't wait to hear more. That's going to be fascinating. Mike writes, the judge allowed the racist text, and it's mostly people of color on the jury. Who birthed these Negroes? Jeesh. Like, where's her father at? The racist text? To me? Oh, hell no. I don't have any racist texts. You can go through my phone. I don't have any racist texts toward anybody. Well, actually, let me double check. Let me double check. Pat writes, late but here morning. Tony writes, because he was such a joy to his family and is the main reason that they should have thrown the book at Guyger for killing him. Right. But they see that's just trying to use whatever they could to come up with to have, because if he was such a bad guy, if he had a criminal record, if he had a domestic violence on his record, if he had been arrested for anything, they would have used that against him to give her a lesser sentence, because it just justifies the fact that she should have been afraid for her life, because look at how bad of a guy he is on record. That's all it would have been. That's all it would have been. Mike writes, the family needs to appeal that sentence based on that nonsense from the jury, if possible, ASAP. Ray writes, oh hell, black folks taught to love and cares with the people, some that hate our very existence and would love nothing more than to annihilate us all. I mean, black people out here trying to justify, and make excuses for both of his family and the father talking about, oh, one day I want to be friends with her. But no, white folks wasn't saying that shit about OJ. White folks were not saying that shit about OJ. Oh, let's just forgive him. Oh, Nicole was such a good-natured soul. Oh, Lordy, 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 she was such a good-natured soul that I think that they wouldn't want us to continue to persecute brother O.J. Simpson. Nobody said that. White folks in this country were not satisfied until O.J. Simpson went to jail for some BS. But oh, Lordy, we got to show love and appreciation. Mm-hmm. Sounds good to me. Sounds real good to me. Mike writes, we need a new jury selection process ASAP. I know Donnie B was talking about that on the show. Check out the podcast. She got some strong opinions about that. TNT writes, good morning. It was good to see TNT yesterday. Oh, man, can't wait to listen to the session yet. Cannot wait. Pat writes, happy birthday, TNT. Okay, happy birthday, TNT. That's right. That's right. Deborah writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. After 4 Spectrum texts and at least 10 inside texts, my internet is working. The thing I missed most was tuning into the show. So glad to be connected. Hey, Deborah, I'm glad you're back. Man, getting that internet reconnected is like the best thing ever. Ray writes, that's how they have been able to circumvent analytical, logical black folks. Well, as long as they're black or brown, but they're ignorant and uninformed. Cam writes, what we are witnessing is the full effects of white supremacy on so-called black people. It is a sickness. I'm going to give the young girl a pass because she's a young girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't expect somebody in their early 20s to be the same as they're going to be in their early 40s. Your constitution gets much stronger as you get older, right? So I don't expect that. But I just expect people to be able to have their own thoughts when you're on a jury. I mean, just the clip I saw, and I broke it down for you, is very suspicious to me. The lens in which they're looking at this is crazy. Like, that's your lens? Your lens is that? I don't get it. Let's see here. Cam writes, the white woman is the black man's kryptonite, and Joshua Brown plays Superman and lost his life. Shaking my head. Such a sad affair. Kush writes, dominant character and personality used to persuade the jury. The whole courtroom is set up strategically. Sorintha's in the house. She writes, good morning. Hey, listen, everybody, I want to make sure that you understand about the opportunity that we have. So this Sunday is October the 13th, and we've got a CCW class set up with the Ride or Die folks. We're going to be out at their Fairfield location I'm going to throw the address out to you directly once again, because if you're interested, you might want to just maybe plan ahead, kind of see where the facility is and figure out what your game plan might be. So the plan is to meet up by 8:15 out at the facility. And hold on one second. The plan is to meet up at the facility at about 8:15. It'll be out in Fairfield. And the cost of it's a 8-hour training to get certified in the state of Ohio. Why are we doing this? We're doing this to certify people legally so that they can carry a firearm that is concealed in the state of Ohio. Okay. And there are restrictions. There's certain places you can't take it. But we're doing this so that those who are interested in that form of self-protection, I know many of you have your spiritual protection, and that is gravy. But for folks who feel like they need or want a little bit more, that's why I provide this opportunity for you. Caller, just hold on for 1 second and I'll put you on. So it's October the 13th. The total cost will be $90. That's a special rate from us. It's an 8-hour training. That's what you have to go through. 4 hours will be classroom, 4 hours out on the range. If you have a firearm, you're more than welcome to bring it, as long as you bring 50 rounds of ammunition. If you do not have a firearm, it does not matter. They will provide them a revolver type, an automatic type, and we'll go through this process together. Again, this is the first step to moving to more tactical training, so that if you find yourself in an emergent situation, you at least have some training to back you up. All right, let me go to the phones here. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Yo, good morning. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on there. Hello. Hey, good morning. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna hear. I'm not sure who that is. For whatever reason, they couldn't hear. Call me back. We'll put you straight on. Caller, call me back. I'll put you straight on. All right. Wanda's in the house. She writes, good morning. No love for Kaepernick, somebody writes. I'm not sure where that's coming from. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, Nate.
Hey, what's going on, Forte?
Hey, I'm hanging in there, man. I want to talk about that topic on the jury.
Sure, go right ahead.
Unfortunately, I watched Dr. Phil the other day. He had the whole family on there and 2 of their attorneys. And the young brother, he did what he did. He got a right to forgive if he wants to. The whole family basically said that both of them would forgive her. Sort of shocks me, but, they raised him. The jury, I definitely agree with you. The young sister, I just couldn't give her 28 years. It's the Kool-Aid she's been drinking her whole life. She don't know the history of this country. You understand me?
I'm with you. I feel you.
Okay. Now, as far as the Caucasian, he did what he was supposed to do. He got on that jury. He convinced everybody she didn't deserve 28 years. It was a mistake. But a jury full of minorities, and the best we could give her is 10 years, and I'm telling you she'll be out in 3 or 4. I'm telling you she will. They can't appeal the punishment the way the judicial system works. The jury had the final word. Okay? Now, if she appeals to try to find a way not to do any time at all, that'll give them a chance to go back at her for a harsher penalty. If she's smart, she'll go, do her time and just leave it alone because they slapped her on the wrist. And I talked to numerous of my family members. I said, if something like that happened to me, I'll come back from the dead if you're on TV talking about I will forgive them. I'm like, are you out of your mind? When do they forgive us, Nate? One black person do something crazy, the whole race has to take the hit. Am I correct on that?
Absolutely. And it don't even have to be something crazy. It can be something small.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the little girl, right? What was she? 12 years old. They cut my hair. The whole race got to take the hit from the 12-year-old girl's mistake. But I don't know, brother. I watched Dr. Phil. I watched that same interview with the 2 jurors. Jurors need to just don't talk. Do what the hell you do and then disappear. Because I look at the young sister and I'm like, you said it best. When she get a little bit older, she had children, she'll see it differently. You know,
she will.
She just can't see it right now.
She just can't see
She
it right. I
can't
think
see
she's too young, right? She
Yeah.
got there and live a
So
little
my
bit,
thing is,
have some ups and downs, have some kids.
yeah,
Then she'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
I see it.
yeah. Well, you know, whether it was a mistake or not, you know, her background tells you that she's got racist tendencies, period. You know, when you look at the text messages, you look at everything she did in that year to try to get out of it, the defense team did a decent job. The prosecutor did a better job. It's just that the jury who drinks that Kool-Aid, they could not give Becky the 20 or 28 years. They just couldn't do it. Now, if she was on the other foot, Boken would have got 99 years.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
If he didn't get the death penalty.
He would have got 28
You
at
know.
least. He would have got, 31, because AMber Guyger's 31.
Yeah.
Whatever
Yeah,
the prosecutors recommended is what he would have got.
Yeah. So like I said, man, it is what it is. This society is what this society is, you know? And I'm telling you, man, I was speechless when I seen the two jurors talk. And the sister said, I just couldn't give her 28 years. I looked at it like it was a mistake. Now, understand, their conscience was bothering them. They was not in the courtroom when the brother embraced her. Once the jury get a verdict, the jury is removed from the room. Okay? So during the sentencing stage, that's when the family can speak. So they did not see the embrace until the next day on the news. And they said, we felt so much better about our sentence because the brother said he would have forgave her. The conscience was working them. The 10 years was working. They knew they was insignificant. But the way the family's talking, it's like, okay, I can live with myself now. I can sleep with myself.
Let them off the hook.
Because, you know, but then again, you know, they raised on an island. But, you know, if they on an island in the Caribbean, then they roots is just like ours. You know, you didn't just go to that island to visit. You know, you ancestors. What was your ancestors doing on that island? You know, just like here in the mainland, just like in South America. So, you know, it is what it is, man. It's just heartaching. You know, forgiveness is a good thing, and that's an individual preference. But I got a friend of mine got killed 25 years ago heinously. Now, he was my best friend. One of the guys who killed him will be getting out next month. So 25 years later, one of them will be on the street again. But they did the maximum sentence. Does that make sense of what I'm saying to you? Based on the circumstances. Now, have I ever forgave them guys? No. Have I learned to live with it? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know, this man didn't get to raise his children. He didn't get to see his grandchildren. You know, somebody doing something positive, productive, got killed by two young brothers. You know, now if I asked his son, did he forgive him? He would say not just no, hell no. You know, you took my daddy at 14. I'm 14 years old. I don't have a father. Now, 25 years later, you know, one of them guys is going to be walking the streets of Cincinnati again. Now, anybody with real remorse wouldn't even come back to Cincinnati. They say, you know what? I did the dirty deed. I did my 25 years. I don't want to run to that guy's family or friends. But that's not how we think. You know, like somebody said, AMber should have resigned from the job. They shouldn't have had to fire her. She had their uniform on. She had their gun. I don't know what she was smoking. But everything we see, how do you make that mistake?
I still think that, I still think she was high. Hey, listen, Forte, I'm expecting a call at 10, man. I appreciate the flows, but I got somebody in the line coming in.
Hang in there, man. I'll see you all Saturday.
All right, take it easy.
All right.
Yep,
Bye.
Yep. Good. Yeah, appreciate that. That's Forte checking in, everybody. But as I said, I am awaiting a phone call from the first ladies. And let's go to the phones lines. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Good morning, Nathan.
Hi.
How are you? This is Steve Cranley.
Hey, how you doing? This is Cranley. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing well. Thank you.
Thanks for calling in. I was just setting it up, talking about the First Lady's Health Fair, which I know you play a major role in. But first, good morning and welcome to the show. Is this your first time on the internet show, I believe?
It is the first time, and I'm really excited to be on. Thank you.
Now, the last time I saw you, you were fighting for your husband. It was way back during that campaign. You was fighting hard for your husband. I mean, you was going hard. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't know you or anything like that, but I was a little shocked. Like, wow, she's really vocal. Like, what's that like being the wife of a mayor, going through campaigns, people throwing up mud at your husband? What's that like?
Well, it's not pretty when the mud is not true. you know, but you know, the First Ladies for Health is not a political health initiative, and so would love to spend time talking with you about that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Unfortunately, Barbara Lynch is not able to be on the call. She sent me a text, and she's running some errands, and unfortunately could not be on the call.
Okay, well, let's talk about it. This initiative kicked off 5 years ago. What brought it all together? What was the origin of it?
You know what? The story is a great story. When my husband won the first election, election for mayor, he, you know, wanted to invite several of the pastors to his swearing in. And I took that off his plate and personally called the pastors and invited them. And Damon Lynch, the young one, he said, "Hey, you know, you're not the only first lady in this city. My wife is first lady of New Prospect Baptist Church." And he goes, "I would want you to have lunch with her." And I said, "I'd love to have lunch." And you know, I hung up the phone and the light bulb went on and said, "Hey, wouldn't it be great to get the first ladies together of our churches and do something in the community?" And so I met Regina and Daphne Baines, First Lady Daphne Baines, and we talked. And I said, "Do you know other First Ladies?" And they said yes. And I said, "Well, would you like to come to my home and we could talk about what are your burning issues and what can we do in the community?" And after a couple of months and about 25 ladies, they chose health as a burning issue. We have a lot of the first ladies who are nurses and educators. And so we said, okay, we'll do this health. And we have now about 40 churches involved. And we also reached out to some of the nonprofit agencies as well as the recreation center. And here we are 6 years later, and we're on our 5th annual Community Health Day.
Mm-hmm. And of course, that's Sunday, October the 13th. It's a one-day health fair at 12 locations here in Hamilton County. So you set it up so that, you know, hopefully people can have one that's close to where they live and in their neighborhood, hopefully.
Exactly. And we have the website that talks about all the locations and the times of the screenings. We have we have half our locations this year, which is, you know, just thank you to all our healthcare partners. We'll have prostate screenings for the men, and we'll have 4 mammography units out there giving breast exams. And we just, HIV, you know, HIV is Hamilton County is considered one of the hot spots.
I know.
On the, you know, HIV on the rise.
Right. People aren't talking about it enough. You're right about that.
Yeah, we're going to be at 9 locations providing confidential. Everything's confidential. We don't take people's names at all. And so we'll be at 9 locations providing private screenings for HIV.
And people don't have to have insurance. So whether you're insured or not insured, from what I understand, you can come participate in the screenings that are going to be available. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And, you know, it's a family affair. You know, bring your, you know, uncles, aunts, grandparents, children. We have Children's Hospital. They're going to be at every single location providing screenings for kids as well as flu shots, adult flu shots. And, you know, Nathan, we have, you know, when I hear that there's raffles and giveaways, I'm like drawn, you know, to that. And we have tons of raffle cards and giveaways for adults and children. And, you know, it's a great time to fellowship. It's a great time to get to know people in your community. And most importantly, it is one of the factors about disparity or health disparity is the mistrust of the medical establishment. And we have 50 healthcare partners, over 200 volunteers who meet people where they are. And this is a great opportunity to dispel myths, break down barriers on both sides. You know, relationships are reciprocal. And this is a wonderful opportunity to even build a more inclusive, you know, environment.
Absolutely. And the event is going to take place rain or shine. Rain or shine.
Yes.
These locations will be up. And what people can do is go to the Voice of Black Cincinnati. Of course, I've posted inside of our chat room here, the Chop Shop, and on my page as well. And you can look at what's being offered per location, because not every screening is going to be at every location. So just make sure you can look up the information yourself so you don't waste your time.
Yeah.
You don't waste your time.
Exactly. I was just going to mention the Voice of Black Cincinnati. They will have all the screenings at each location. Really, the three big screenings, the HIV, which is at 9 locations, prostate's at 6, and then the mammography unit is at 4. But pretty much the rest of the screenings we have at all the locations.
Yeah, anyone can visit. Anyone can visit any of the locations. So if you've got something going in your neighborhood, you don't have to just go to that one. You can go to any of the locations that you would like to.
Yes. And, you know, if anyone has any questions, they can, we have a little contact form on our website. I personally answer the emails, and they have my cell number. If they have any questions or have a hard time with transportation, we will help them.
Now, the day of, are you going to be at the site yourself, or what site do you think that you'll be at?
Yeah.
If people want to meet you.
I will try to visit most of the sites. I go to New Jerusalem, New Prospect. I'll pop into Corinthian. I'll be at Mother of Christ, Evanston, College Hill, Seven Hills. I love visiting and meeting people and talking with them, and you know, and asking them what they want to see more from us.
So when you've asked that question, what are people saying? So what's the future hold? Like what's the long-term goal with this initiative?
That's a great question. The sustainability of it. You know, it's working so far. Our healthcare partners want to continue with us, and that's the most important thing because they provide the volunteers. It's really a big piece of our urban health. And a lot of people, when I talk with them, they just absolutely love that the partners are coming and meeting where they are. And that is just such a big, you know, hurdle for us or for the people in the medical establishment. And so to break that down and really begin to have conversations with people who are not like you, you know, we're all different, we're all unique. And this is a great opportunity. And a lot of people say they want more wellness activities, and we're working on that. And so we're moving right along. Every person who needs something, you know, Barbara and we're locked at the hip on this initiative. We've worked really hard building the partnership and sharing it, and we're hoping that you know, we meet everyone's needs.
Well, it's the First Ladies Health Initiative. Again, it's October the 13th, which is this Sunday, and there's multiple locations. You can go to whichever you like. And thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Nathan. I really appreciate it and hope to be back soon.
All right. So, when you come back, then we'll talk politics. All right. Take it easy.
Yeah. I'm not a political person, but sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, take it easy. Yeah, absolutely.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, appreciate her time. That is the First Ladies Health Initiative. So the First Ladies of some of the churches here in the city of Cincinnati got together with the First Lady in terms of, I guess, like the political position of being mayor, and has this initiative about 6 years ago, I think she said. And I asked her about sustainability. I mean, I don't know if they want to maybe increase it so they do it more than just, I think it's just one time a year or, whatever the goal might be. But, having these kind of initiatives, because how many times do you pick up the paper and you read about certain communities being the epicenter of health crises, right? Or some of these neighborhoods in which the life expectancy doesn't match other neighborhoods, right, in the city of Cincinnati. These are the kind of programs that provide a stopgap for people that may not have insurance. Or it could just be, just think about it. So they're going to be at like 12, 13 locations, right? They're going to be doing all kind of screens. I wonder if there's any way to calculate, the people's lives that they saved or things that they've been able to catch through some of the preventative screenings. There's no way for them to calculate that, right? But that's the way I look at it. Like, if they're able to save one life, right? Somebody's like, you know what? Because you know how these things are. People are like, you know what? I just saw my doctor 3 months ago. I'm cool, but I'm here. So I get a screening. Something comes up, they catch it. That's how I look at it. So take advantage of it if you have the time and you're inclined to do so. And if not, please share that information. There's a link I put inside the Chop Shop. It's on my page, it's on the friend page, the Nathan Ivey Show page. Please share it if you see it with somebody who you think, that it might be useful to them. And I'll be for you. I have never been picked for jury duty, been registered since I was 18. That's Sarinthia. Mike is hilarious. She was like, I didn't come here for politics, Nate. I get it. I'm okay with it. I didn't take it any kind of way. Mike writes, Cranley's wife was like, we ain't talking about politics now. Back to what I came for, LOL. She did. She certainly did. That's funny. Drop writes, what a defense teams ask for a different venue. When a defense teams asks for a different venue in a murder case, it is because of the type of people in the jury pool. They got what they wanted because the defense team asked for a change of venue in the AMber Guyger case. They claimed that she couldn't get a fair jury. Well, obviously, even with the jury, majority people of color, they were very sympathetic. And I'll be honest with you. You get a jury that's majority people of color, but then in the first televised news interview, they made sure to have a white dude there. Was it Foreman? Now, if he wasn't the foreman, then that's a little, I guess they're just trying to have some balance to it. But it was a majority people of color, black and people of color, non-white folks, jury. And they still were very sympathetic to AMber Guyger. We heard from him. I mean, this guy was like he was probably biting his nails at night, trying to come up with a way to come up with a rationale that would work in terms of his Jedi mind tricks on the rest of the jurors. And it worked. Worked like a charm. Nate is doing it big. The first lady of Cincy is not how you start, it's how you finish. Is that right? Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Is that right? Is that how we look at that interview? Okay. Man, the world is coming to an end real soon if that's true. That's the benchmark. We got problems. Hilarious. Surprised she didn't kick you down. Gold Star coupons. First come, first serves. Oh, I forgot Cranley is thermed out. Oh, she just passes out Gold Star coupons wherever she goes? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. No, the last time I saw her, honestly, is what I said. I'm like, okay. I started thinking this morning, like, last time I saw Cranley's wife, and I saw her in action, man. She is vocal. But I love it, though. Man, that was a compliment. I have never been picked for jury. No, I'll take that back. I think I read that. TNT writes, this is the 400-year anniversary of the first Africans enslaved in America. Sounds like the sister on the jury is suffering from 400 years of slave mentality. She could be. Cincy Tigers writes, a mess. She writes, just finished a 2-week stint last Thursday. Happy Earth Day to TNT, everybody. Cam writes, if you get a CCW in Ohio, is it recognized in Florida as well? I'm on a ledge here. I'm going to take a little leap. I'd say no. I think every state has its own rules specific. But I would do my due diligence. That means go on Google. Brian writes, no love for Kaepernick, huh? What? Kaepernick? Cam writes, the white woman is the black man's kryptonite, and Joshua Brown plays Superman and lost his life. Shaking my head, such a sad affair, is that right? Taylor writes, good morning. Some people have circumstances that make jury duty a financial challenge and burdensome on the family. Hey, Taylor, you would be a financial challenge and a burden on my family. Straight up. It would be. I work in the mornings. I do flows in the morning. That would be, yeah. If the wifey had to do that, yeah, we're going to take a hit. We're going to feel that. So, I think that experience is what a lot of people have, and it prevents, it's an elitist system. It prevents the real voice of the people, which is the working class heart of America, not just the financial elites, not just the people that were born into circumstances where they were connected from birth with money from birth. Like, look, if that's your reality, I ain't hating on you at all. But are you doing good with your powers? Are you using your superpowers for good? Or are you just on some me type ish? I don't know. I'm just saying. But those kind of folks have to work for a living. It was the same way with Fairfield or Fairview Elementary. It was an elitist system. Who's got time? It's just like jury duty. Who's got time to camp out on the front lawn of an elementary school? Well, people that's got the kind of jobs that will allow them to do that. That's who. People that's got support systems. That's who. People that have wealth, equity in their homes, people that can make those kind of decisions. Yeah. But is that the real, true heart of every? No, that's not the circumstance of most Cincinnatians, but it is what it is. Deborah Rice, I think I read that already. I'm going backwards to try to make sure I get everybody in. I think I do. I think I'm pretty much, if I miss anything, it ain't on purpose. It ain't on purpose. Cincinnati don't care about your job. We have Fortune 500 companies here in a high poverty rate. The last thing Cincy do is care. That's right, because people, I think, have become comfortable with the status quo. It works for them. So, Ray writes, when her and Cranley was on Lincoln before the elections, they had a rolling loop of $25 coupon giveaway. Reminded me of the Roxanne Quarles booty call connectivity to the black females. I'm not sure. I'm about to read that one later. I'm not sure what she's saying. They had $25 coupons to what? To Gold Star? Really? Okay. I didn't hear that. That's interesting. Nate is doing, I think I read that. Yeah. So we're all caught up. What are we, 10, 20? Let's rock it. Man. Let's see, as long as it feels good, I'm here. Got a little bit of time. I'm going to be doing some editing and listening to some podcasts as soon as I get off, which I'm looking forward to, actually. Let me jump around here because we primarily have been talking about the case of Joshua Brown, who was the young brother who testified against AMber Guyger, who was killed under suspicious, and by suspicious, I mean the timing of it, for me primarily, circumstances, so soon, after the conviction of AMber Guyger, white female police officer in Dallas, who was convicted. She got 10 years and a lot of sympathy of killing her neighbor after mistakenly going into his apartment and killing him, thinking he was an intruder, when in fact, he was just an innocent guy eating some ice cream, smoking some marijuana, right? Chilling out at home, not bothering anybody. And an officer of the law opens the door and then uses her training to a deadly end. It's very, very sad. Very sad. Let me jump inside the Friends page real quick before I make a move this morning. Appreciate it. Okay, that's not the link I'm looking for. I don't really like that link. I have to change that. Okay, yeah, let me see here. I'm inside the Friends page. I just want to see what was posted in here. Anything noteworthy? Man held on $30,000 bond after threatening black family with shotgun. You N-words don't belong in the neighborhood. that right? You know, there was something interesting that I can glean from that op-ed piece in the Cincinnati Enquirer written by Laura Brunner, in which she talked about the history. And there was a tidbit there that I thought was interesting that I decided I wanted to share with you in that particular piece. You can find it on Cincinnati Enquirer. And let me pull it up real quick because I don't want to mangle it. I thought it was a really little interesting piece of Cincinnati history that I wanted to share with you this morning. And if possible, perhaps provoke a conversation. You may be into it, you may not be into it. But the point she was making was that she was talking about the history of the racism here in Cincinnati and why there is still sort of like two Cincinnatis, right? We haven't gotten away from that. And let me see here. I'm looking for it right now. Thought I took a screenshot of it just as I typically do. It's just easy for me to remember things. Well, essentially what they found is that there was a neighborhood in Cincinnati. You go back about 5 decades, maybe even a little longer than that. And so, you know what? I'm just going to hold off on it because I don't want to talk about it without having it in front of me because I can't recall it. And it takes a certain detail that I want to give to it before I really bring it up. So I don't want to mangle it. I'll share it for next week. For next show tomorrow, or perhaps maybe I'll do something like on some audio or video and talk about it. I can't remember exactly because I didn't save it, but I thought it was interesting. And it was just some old wild racist stuff that happened here in the city of Cincinnati that I wanted to share with you. But we'll get back to it another time. I'm not going to keep trying for it. I just can't recall what it is. Can't recall. So I'm inside the Friends page right now, kind of looking at what people posted over the weekends. And there was a couple things. I see a lot of images on my Facebook page of people standing next to Judge Tracy Hunter. I can't wait to hear an interview. Judge Hunter, if you're listening, you can definitely come interview with the Nathan Ivey Show or with Sin Digital Media. I'd love to hear about what's going on with you. Let me see here. I think, okay, that's interesting. Yeah. Big dummy. Kanye West reiterates Trump's support, declares the Republican Party free to slaves in Salt Lake City. I thought he was done with all of that. Yeah, here's the article right here. Botham Jean's friend was his neighbor, Joshua Brown, was associated. That's a family lawyer. That's a lawyer from Joshua Brown's family who said that. He feels like he was assassinated. And if they find out that police were behind this, that's just too big of a risk for something that ultimately has already been done. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I just don't, the risk don't, it just don't. So silencing him, let's say that we give completely into the theory that law enforcement is behind the death of this brother. Let's play completely into it and think about it logically. They're gonna take a risk like this to silence a brother because he testified against a woman who did something like she did. I just don't see that. That's the only part about it that just don't make sense. Maybe that's, unless they got some folks down there, maybe it just has nothing to do with law enforcement, but yet it's somebody associated with the case somehow. It could be somebody who's a friend of law enforcement. You know what I'm saying? You never know. You know? As wild as it may seem, there are people out there that could have convinced themselves that AMber Guyger was only convicted because she's white and he's black. I mean, really, I know it sounds strange, but there's some people out there running around here saying that kind of nonsense. Oh, if she was black, she was only convicted because he was black. I know It's laughable. But at the same time, it is what it is. It's laughable. But there are people who feel that way. And then there's this. I'm going back to Friday. I missed this, but I do want to give a few thoughts. And maybe this will be my parting shots. A few parting shots. And shout out to Jesse for posting this. This goes back to October the 4th at 7:04 p.m. Okay, inside the Friends page. A black man was just crowned the first ever homecoming king at Ole Miss, and he is a brother of Phi Beta Sigma. But the photograph, I mean, I get it. That's a big thing, though. You know, homecoming king. I guess that's a big thing in somebody's in the universities. So I'll leave it alone. I'll let him live. The hell? One talks in UAW strike takes a turn for the worst after another proposal is rejected. So these people over at GM took the ultimate sacrifice, made the ultimate sacrifice for the company. Company comes back from the brink of bankruptcy, also thanks to the American people. Good old-fashioned taxpayers bailing out an entire industry. And now that the company's making money, they don't want to share it with the workers who made the sacrifice in the first place. The hell? So I'll keep my eyes on that as well, but I don't have anything else to share with it. Just some residual thoughts. That's it. Listen, have a great day. I'll be back with you bright and early tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. the entire week, 8 a.m. all week long. And we'll chop it up. Tomorrow, we're going to talk with Janaea Trotter. Okay? Thursday, we're going to talk with the superintendent of the Cincinnati Public Schools. All right? Along the way, we're going to talk with school board candidates. All right? So keep your eyes on this space, watch this stream, and we'll catch up real soon. Have a great Monday, everybody. I'm out.
Byron Allen's empire continues to grow.